Pistons and Cavs in Cleveland. Detroit up 2-1 coming in, but Cleveland would have a big answer for Detroit in this one. Cavs were down at halftime, and then they just blitzed them in the third quarter. And the guy doing all the blitzing was Donovan Mitchell, who was off in the first half, had just 4 points at the break, and then he went certifiably nuts. Everything he saw, he liked. Everything he liked, he threw in. Mitchell coming off the screen. This looks good to me. You see the Cavs scoring run. Pistons aren't getting anything. It's 13 straight for Cleveland. And then James Harden chiming in. 16 in a row. No, not enough timeouts in JB Bickerstaff's holster for this one. More from Mitchell. Spida having fun. Jared Allen getting inside. The run up to 20. We got more. Mitchell, he's on one, and nobody's going to stop him. Floater. Cavs run 22-0 to start the half, the longest in the play-by-play era. Up 13 after 3, fourth quarter. More from Mitchell. Oh, that signature move, the swoop over. Cavs by 17. Cade Cunningham, rather quiet game here. He does find a transition three, but only had 19 points. He had scored 20 in all 16 of his career postseason games before tonight, held to 19. And then Mitchell, one more time, had 39 in the second half, tied with the great Sleepy Floyd for the most points in a playoff half in NBA history. Finished with 43. The Cavs draw even, win it 112-103. Here's Spida after the game. As the old chestnut goes, the series doesn't start until the road team wins a game. So I guess the series has yet to begin. We got Danny Green, our NBA analyst, joining us now. Cleveland had that epic run to start the second half, Danny. When you're watching that and you're seeing Donovan Mitchell go to town, what was coming to your mind about what they were doing at that point?
I mean, they just kind of took Detroit out of everything they were doing. They were more physical, and it started with their defense. Obviously, Don went on a historic heater in the second half, almost outscored the Detroit Pistons by himself in the third quarter. But defensively, it said Detroit couldn't score either. So Cleveland, they just upped their intensity. Defensively, got in guys, got out to running some. And, of course, Detroit went cold, another factor that came into play. But offensively, they just moving the ball. They were scoring. It wasn't just Donovan. James got in the party a little bit. Sam Merrill, Max Strus, Jared Allen started playing more physical down low and forcing his will. So they did it as a collective, but Don just had a historic second half. And it was amazing and fun to watch.
It sure was. So that's the Cleveland side of the thing. You talk about imposing your will. Cade Cunningham, as we mentioned during the highlight, he had 20 or more in every playoff game in his career. Only 19. Did not seem like he was imposing his will. What did you see from Detroit on the whole?
Well, he would have got it if he played more minutes, but they pulled the plug early, which they should have because he struggled most of the game. And the only person that really came to play tonight was Caris LeVert, the ex-Cavalier, right? So he came to hoop. Paul Reed came to hoop when he got in with limited minutes. They needed more from all those guys, but it starts with Cade Cunningham. He's the head of the snake. He leads the team, and if he's not playing well, it's hard for everybody else to have open looks like Dennis Jenkins, like Jalen Duren. So they got to make sure that he is healthy and fresh, and I think they'll be a different team at home. Luckily for him, both these teams are terrible on the road, and I think Cleveland's a little bit worse than they are on the road. So they're going back home. They play great at home, and Cleveland doesn't play so good. So they have a little bit in their favor right now as it stands. Yeah,
that's the wild thing about the postseason is you see a team one night, you think, okay, that's the team that's going to win this. We could see a completely different Pistons team coming back in Game 5 on Wednesday, right?
Exactly. And I expect them to be rowdy. I expect them to have their crowd behind them. I expect Cade to come out with a chip on his shoulder because the last two games he let slip away from him, especially Game 3 where he had those 3 turnovers in the last 2 minutes. He's going to be different. Duncan Robinson, Tobias Harris, and company. Jalen Duren, they're going to have guys ready to go. And might you see a Paul Reed sighting earlier in the game than you expect.
All right, check that game out Wednesday on ESPN. Danny Green giving us his thoughts. Danny coming back in a little bit to talk about Wemby and the Spurs. Meanwhile, new on SportsCenter, here's Kenny Atkinson.
Have another beer. Have another beer.
PJ. Kenny, you guys came out 24-0 run to start that second half. What changed for you guys, and what was working for you guys?
It was a halftime speech, of course. Absolutely not. We thought we were playing good basketball, right? And we're had a deficit, but we thought we were in a good place. I think the switch was we had to play with more pace. We were getting the ball up so slow. They were getting their defense set, and that was the big thing. We hit them with at halftime. We got to get the ball up quicker. If their defense is set, they're a great half-court defense team. And I think Donovan started to get in the open court. That's when he's at his best. I thought that was key.
He had 4 points at the end of the first half and finished with 39 in the second half for a total of 43. What changed for him in the game?
Again, I think it was getting into the open court. When we're in the half court with them, they're physical, they're grabbing, they're holding, they don't let you move. Incredible performance. Really, that was. What a shift, right? Really struggled in the first half, and then big time second half performance by Don.
Yeah. Kenny, in the first 3 games of this series, the starting lineup hadn't necessarily played well together, been outscored by I think 11 points, but it was your best lineup tonight. What was different about that in this game?
I thought Dean Wade took his defense to another level. I don't know what the stats say. I don't know, to have a 6'9" body that can just, lean on Cade and make things difficult. I thought that was key. I thought James came out really aggressive. So those 2 bookends. And I thought Evan Mobley was phenomenal. I mean, he was just blocking everything, getting steals, blocking it. He was that was a defensive player of the year right there. He was great in the paint. So I think those 3 things, with Don struggling, kind of sparked that first unit.
We'll head back to Cleveland for more on the Sports Center. But first, Victor Wembanyama's nasty swing and right elbow to the jaw and neck of Naz Reid cost Wemby 2.5 quarters Sunday night, but it won't cost him any more time. The league decided today not to impose any further discipline, so Wembanyama will play in tomorrow's pivotal Game 5 in San Antonio, with the series tied at 2 games apiece. The Milwaukee Bucks are open for business when it comes to listening to offers for 2-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis has been the subject of a lot of trade chatter for some time now. That talk is only heating up, and the time for action is apparently drawing nigh. Here's our Shams Charania with more.
Milwaukee Bucks officials are bracing for an active period this week at the draft combine to lay the groundwork for what will be a likely resolution to Giannis Antetokounmpo's future between now and the NBA draft. Team sources tell me they are open for business, listening to offers, seeing exactly what they can get after already discussing deals at the NBA trade deadline. Co-owner Jimmy Haslam came out last week and said either the Bucks will get a long-term commitment from Giannis or trade him in June. My understanding is this will be a very simple conversation. Giannis has made it clear for a period of months now that he believes the time has come for both sides to part ways. I'm told nothing has changed about that stance. So the next conversation will be, where will he want to play long-term? Where will Giannis commit long-term to his future? Because he's only got 1 year guaranteed left on his contract. That gives him a level of sway and power over his future. But the Bucks and Giannis will be working together on a resolution in the coming weeks.
With apologies to Kareem, who only spent 6 seasons in Milwaukee, it's not hyperbole to say that Giannis has been the best player the Bucks have ever had. One of just 4 guys to lead a franchise in points, rebounds, and assists all time, and the others, LeBron with the Cavs, KG with the Timberwolves, and MJ with the Bulls. Welcome back to SportsCenter. Pistons, Cavs, Game 4, Detroit up 2-1 coming into this one, and looking pretty strong in the first half because Donovan Mitchell was frankly awful in half one. Shot 1 of 8 from the field, just 1 of 5 from 3, had 4 points in the first half. Statistically, Mitchell's worst career first half in the playoffs as a Cavalier, and not coincidentally, Cleveland down by 4 at the half. And then the light bulb went on. Somehow, Mitchell just found it, making a tough shot there. Foul shot puts the Cavs up 1, and then some ball movement. And Spider stepping into the 3. So it's getting it cranked up. 8 points in the third quarter for Mitchell. make that 11. Couldn't hit a thing in the first half, couldn't miss anything in the third quarter, and really in the second half. You see this, Mitchell, same amount of points as the Pistons in the third quarter, 21, 8 of 9 shooting. Fourth quarter, how about a little bit more? Step back three, 39 points in the second half. Tied for the most in any playoff half in NBA history with Sleepy New on SportsCenter. Here's Donovan Mitchell and James Harden.
I ain't been on Twitter in so long, Chris. No, I just told the guys, like, hey, I wasn't getting downhill like I had in Game 3. You know what I mean? And sure, yeah, I scored a lot of points, but just trying to find ways to get early offense. And the shot started to fall, but just kind of maintaining my stuff. And the biggest thing was just trying to just create advantages wherever I saw them for the group and, not force things.
James, what was your view of what Donovan did in the third quarter and in the second half?
What was my view? I was on the court, so I had a really good view. But, that's why it's a team game. And, he's been doing a lot of really good things, especially offensively this entire postseason. And played well offensively at all. I think he did some good things. And then second half, he became, more the aggressor. And so, as players who score the basketball, it's quarters, it's halves. It's going to happen, but that's why you have a team to help him out. In the second half, he just did really good things on both ends of the basketball.
Donovan, Kenny said you said you're not really in a rhythm in that first half, which you said happens, but is that what you felt? And kind of what do you think just led to that?
Yeah, we airballed the first layup, missing shots short. Sometimes it's natural, right? But to James's point, not really trying to force it. I didn't really, you got in the paint, tried to find guys, right? Like, wasn't really trying to get in there and force it. And then just doubling down on the defensive end, trying to, take whoever I'm guarding, take them out of the equation. I understand that I'm going to get looks and it's going to fall at some point, even if they didn't, right? Just being aggressive, more aggressive. But I'm not tripping. We were down 4 at half, you know what I mean? So understanding that, I always tell y'all it's not just about the scoring. It's about your overall impact on the game. And for me, it was just like, okay, now I have an opportunity to try to get downhill and then start going in.
Yeah. Sorry, I guess the 22 overrun y'all started the third quarter with, just kind of like, what do you think was the key to that? Why do you think?
I think our starters, hadn't been great to start the games and start the halves. And tonight was a really good opportunity for us, and we did that. Start the game and start the halves. Particularly on the defensive end, and that's what led to easy opportunities, whether it's threes or layups. We rewarding our bigs, and so we can be on the same page and get off to great starts like that to start the game or half. It's a different ball club just because our energy shifts, and that's how it has to be from here on out.
Yeah. One of the things that Kenny mentioned was that you guys played at the faster pace in the second half. How important is it to what you guys do offensively in this matchup?
It's key. It's everything, especially against them. They're a really good defensive team once they're set. But I think pace is speed. It's how fast we are. Like getting the ball up the court, but pace is also understanding what the action that we're trying to run and guys get into their spots faster, so our actions the first domino effect can happen earlier in the clock. That way we have time on the back end. So it's a combination of both things, and I think we did that earlier in the clock throughout the course of the entire game, which led to easy opportunities offensively.
Donovan, what did you think of the way that Evan played tonight?
He was phenomenal. What do you have? 5 blocks? 5 blocks, 3 steals. He was everywhere. 8 boards, plus 30. Just his impact and overall, I think it's something that we feed off of, and especially when you're guarding the ball, just knowing you got a guy down there that's going to protect the rim, and he's done it for us all year. He's gotten progressively better each game. Whether, in the first series he was scoring, now he's not necessarily scoring as much, but he's still making an impact, 17 points. But he's just doing it on every facet of the game. And he's being the initiator on offense too, making solid plays, solid reads. So he's doing it all for us, and he was huge.
Joe Reed.
Oh.
Donovan, what does it mean to?
Sorry, what?
What does it mean to tie the NBA record for most points in a half?
We won the game and we're 2-2 going to Detroit. Everybody let me know that I missed a free throw to break the record, though. I will say that, but again, we're 2-2 headed to Detroit. That was what we came home to do, and that's all that matters.
Let's go back inside Donovan Mitchell's third quarter. Made 8 of his 9 shots, 21 points in the third, as many as the entire Pistons team combined. It ties the highest scoring playoff quarter by a Cav in the play-by-play era.
San Antonio trying to go up 3-1 in the series. Unnecessary and excessive in contact by Wembanyama. Wembanyama is out of this game.
This defense is suffocating.
This is a terrible quarter for the Timberwolves. All the eyes are on 5.
It has to be that guy, the Ant-Man.
Game 4 to the Timberwolves.
We just had to play hard, and I had to just take it upon myself to try to get us a win.
Tied at 2, the series heads back to San Antonio for Game 5 tomorrow. The Spurs still favored in that one and in the series, according to DraftKings Sportsbook. San Antonio looking to get back to its first conference finals since 2017. And we welcome back our man, Danny Green. So, Danny, the NBA adjudicated the Wemby elbow in the Spurs' favor. He's going to play in Game 5 after being tossed out of Game 4. But now the series is tied 2-2. So how do you think Wemby and the Spurs respond tomorrow?
I think they bounce back and bounce back in a big way. I know Wemby was not happy with the call. I think it was the right one to make, but he was juiced up, trying to get his teammates going. They played well without him. They showed a lot of maturity, and that was one they felt they probably let slip away. So they're going to be home. They're going to be in front of their fans, in front of that crowd, and those young guys are going to be ready to hoop and alongside with Wemby. Like, that pain is going to be very different when Minnesota is trying to attack it. They had 38 shots on goal, which is a second career high underneath Coach Finch. Game prior, 32 kickouts, which is a career high in kickouts because of Wemby in the paint. And I assume that it'll go that way again. And they'll have a big response in that arena in San Antonio.
Yeah, looking forward to this. Timberwolves, as we know, they've proven to be a very tough out. They made the conference finals each of the last 2 seasons. We'll see what San Antonio has for them. Danny giving us the lowdown on a really interesting...
The Pistons in Game 4. But we're going to pick this one up in the third quarter because this is where the magic happens. Donovan Mitchell puts his head down, throws it in, gets the deuce and the damage. Mitchell would give the Cavs a 1-point lead at the line. And then the Cavs swing around the arc. Mitchell, 4-3. Boom goes the dynamite. It's an 8-0 run. A couple minutes later, the run is up to 10-0. Spida, another 3. Now it's 13-0. Keep stacking. Evan Mobley drives, kicks to James Harden. The beard is feared. That's a 3. JB Bickerstaff not happy. It's 16-0 run. Next Cavs possession. Mitchell dances on Tobias Harris. Another pull-up bucket. 18-0 run. Harden finds Jared Allen inside. Slams it down. The toothpaste is out of the tube. It is a 20-0 run.
Were they
here.
playing Make It Take It?
Maybe. Mitchell spinning, floats it in. The Cavs run finished at 22-0. That is the longest run to start a playoff half in the play-by-play era. Cavs up 13 after 3 quarters. Early in the fourth, Mitchell driving, gathering, finishing. Cavs up 17. Now, Detroit, they would try to stay in it. A couple minutes later, the Pistons still trailing big. Pushing the break, Cade Cunningham hits the transition 3. Pistons cut it to 14. So you're telling me there's a chance. Well, Samsonite, I don't know. Donovan Mitchell, step back 3 over Cunningham. He had 43 points. The Cavs win 112-103 and even the series. Here's Spida.
What does it mean to tie the NBA record for most points in a half?
We won the game and we're 2-2 going to Detroit. Everybody let me know that I missed a free throw to break the record, though. I will say that, but then we're 2-2 headed to Detroit. That was what we came home to do, and that's all that matters.
But the mental fortitude and the mental, it's a big game, right? Like to turn that around, like he did. It's pretty impressive, Not sure in the playoffs I've seen a turnaround like that, where a guy is struggling and just absolutely turns the switch and complete opposite of the first half.
May I remind you all that Donovan Mitchell went into the tunnel at halftime with just 4 points. Then he scored 39 in the second half, which ties the NBA postseason record for a half. It's the 4th 40-point game in a Cavs jersey for Mitchell. Only LeBron James has more. Let's hear from JV Bickerstaff on this one.
We're still learning. Three-time NBA champion Danny Green, our NBA analyst, joins us now. Danny, Cleveland had that 24-0 run that spanned halftime. It was the first 22 points of the third quarter. That was a wow. What's the how? How did the Cavs start the second half like that?
They were just way more intense than Detroit was, and it kind of started with Cade. Cade struggled most of the game, not just the third quarter. But they upped their defensive intensity, which allowed them to run offensively. Everybody joined the party. James Harden got some shots. Obviously, Donaldson had a historic second half, scored the Detroit Pistons himself. But everybody joined the party. Jarrett Allen got in there, got physical, dunked the ball. Evan Mobley penetrated and kicked. Sam Merrill hit shots. Like, they had a bunch of guys produce. So it was a collective effort in that group. And also Detroit just kind of going cold and not finding rhythm and turn the ball over a lot in that second half, which is something that they will learn from and bounce back.
Danny, we're all familiar with the cliche that a playoff series doesn't really start until a team wins on the road. The home team has won every game of this series. Do you see that continuing in Game 5?
I actually do, because unfortunately for Cleveland, they're really bad on the road, and lucky for Detroit, Detroit's not that good on the road either, but they're a little bit better than Cleveland on the road. So both these teams have not been great on the road. Cleveland historically hasn't been, and Detroit has been great at home. So I think Detroit will win this Game 5. I think it'll come down to Game 7, which it possibly might happen. We see Cleveland get their first win on the road of the playoff series. But I think this is going to continue. This trend is going to continue for most of this series, and Game 5 will go to Detroit.
Danny, a trend that has been continuing in this series, one to which you alluded in the first question, the Detroit turnover issues, namely Cade Cunningham. Don't mean to pick on him. He was in the MVP conversation. Now, 63 turnovers in 11 career playoff games. It's more than 5 per game. How does he clean that up?
He just has to slow the game down. When he's at his best, he's taking his time, he's poised, he's patient. He's not letting them speed him up. You do have to give the guy some grace. In that Orlando series, he's still fresh off a collapsed lung, and he's carrying a lot of the weight offensively. But tonight, I thought he would have made the stride. After Game 3, those late game turnovers, he had 8 for the game. I think 3 of them in the last 2 minutes of the game. So I thought he would clean that up. But really, it's upon him himself, obviously, but his teammates could help him. The coaching staff could help him. He just has to slow the game down and take his time. Slow as pro, a lot of people say. And I think he'll do that in Game 5.
Game 5 Wednesday in Detroit. The Pistons have won 5 straight at home by an average of 13 points per game. We'll see if that trend continues.
Final in L.A. Lakers trying to stave off elimination, down 0-3 in the series at home against the champs. D. Wade, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander looking to break out the brooms. 23 points was his ceiling so far in this series. He eclipsed that by a margin here. First quarter, Lakers up 1. LeBron, fadeaway game, that old man at the Y thing he's got going. Lakers up 5 after 1. A.J. Mitchell's been terrific in this series. It's Alex Caruso for a 3. Thunder go back in front. Their depth was on full display. Failed rebound, second chance bucket for OKC. Jared McCain top of the key 3. OKC started the second quarter on a 17-0 run. SGA gets to his spot. Thunder up 4 at the break. And every game so far this series, it's been belt to backside in the second half for the Thunder, but not here. Jackson Hayes throws it down all over Chet off the Austin Reeves lob. Lakers within 6. Then LeBron from deep gets that to fall. It's a 5-point game. And then Hayes again, cutting to the basket. Been in a dunk contest, throwing his own there. 18 points for Jackson Hayes. Lakers up 4 as we head to the 4th. Maybe we're getting a Game 5. Teams all time, 162-0 when trying to win a series when up 3-0. Thunder aren't messing around in the 4th. Off the Hayes denial, up ahead to LeBron. He gets the easy 2 on the other end, 24-12. OKC calls timeout. But again, they have options like McCain, their 14th highest paid player, has 13 points, tying the game. A.J. Mitchell, he's the 15th highest paid player on the squad. He went for 26. They won a title last year. He's averaging 14 more points per game in these playoffs than the last. Thunder up 3 after the made free throw. SGA sizes up the defender. Knockdown 3. He's the back-to-back MVP for a reason. Thunder up 4. J.J. Redick and the Lakers feel it slipping away. But Rui Hachimura was magnificent. 4 for 8 from 3. That's a 4-point play. Lakers down 2 after the made freebie. We play on in the 4th. 45 seconds left. It's a 2-point game. Marcus Smart drives, gets that to fall. He had 15. Next Thunder possession. After the made free throw, Lakers up 1, physical through contact is Marcus Smart. He has been a clutch player when needed without Luka Doncic the entirety of these playoffs. Isaiah Hartenstein, check out this feed to Chet Holmgren and then watch him go to work with the footwork inside. Lakers wanted to travel. They're not getting one. Luka, he's disagreed with an official a time or two. He had 16 points, did Chet. But SGA, I mentioned the ceiling for him in this series, 23 points off the LeBron miss. He gets the ball, dribbles out the clock, gets fouled, made both free throws. SGA had 35. Austin Reeves had a team-high 27. Here to tie with 12 seconds left. No! Alex Caruso corrals the rebound. He's fouled. That's it, and that's all for the Lakers. Caruso made them both. OKC gets the sweep. Here is SGA as the Thunder are into the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, we just wanted to take it like one possession at a time. Like, we've been in that situation so many times. We know, like.
So how did SGA turn it on when the Thunder needed him the most?
I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to the Lakers defense. You know, they kept getting the ball out of his hands, forcing other guys to beat them. And those other guys answered the call. They did beat them for the most part. Tonight was the first game he got really loose. He got to that free throw line some. But this ain't nothing new for him. This is what he does. This is an average Tuesday. He goes in the gym. He gets to his spots. He knows how to get to the free throw line. He knows how to close out games. He's a super vet and about to be a 2-time MVP. So, you know, but the Lakers did a great job of him most of the series. You also got to give a lot of credit to A.J. Mitchell, Jared McCain, Cason Wallace, Isaiah Joe, like those other guys, and Chet had an amazing series as well. But A.J. Mitchell was clutch for them this whole series, and it allowed SGA to kind of get back into his rhythm and his flow.
And Danny, for so much of this season and postseason, we've assumed that the Thunder would be here, but it's the NBA. Anything can happen. They're 8-0 in the playoffs, back-to-back sweeps, take out the Lakers in 4 games. How does the Thunder's level of play compare to the ceiling we've seen from them over the course of this 25-26 season?
It's pretty close. They aren't fully healthy, though, so we haven't got a chance to see what J-Dub looks like. They're going to need him, especially in this next series and in the finals if they want to be 2-time NBA champions. But they're pretty close to their ceiling. They've been playing exceptional basketball. They're playing at a high level. But, you know, this could be a gift and a curse. You know, it's great to be able to have much adversity throughout this playoff series. So it might get a little rocky when they actually do get some adversity and play against a tougher team, whether it's Minnesota or the San Antonio Spurs. And even if they get past that, in the finals, it's going to be tough. So I've been on both ends of the spectrum where I've had 2 sweeps and we weren't ready for that next round. We won the next 2 games, but then we lost in that series. I'd also been where we were down. I mean, I think the ones that helped us the most, the ones that challenged us and prepared us for the next round. So I don't know how much these 2 teams that they played is going to prepare them for the next matchup, but I know Dagnall is a good coach and he'll have them ready.
Well, Danny Green, stay with us because speaking of sweeps, we've got to point out that this is the 4th time LeBron James has been swept in his career, but this is the earliest one yet. The others were all in the conference finals or later. This one comes in the conference semis, and worth noting here, LeBron James now set to become an unrestricted free agent.
So, Maddie, it then becomes fair to ask if this is it for LeBron in L.A. And if it is, it was a hell of a ride. When he joined the Lakers, ranked 7th in all-time scoring, but after more than 12,000 points in purple and gold, he's the all-time leading scorer past Kareem on that night, February 2023. More than 4,000 points clear now of anybody else. In the bubble, 2020, Bron brought the Lakers a 17th NBA title at the time. That tied the Celtics for most in league history. It also snapped a 9-year title drought for LA, their longest this century. And look, man, Father Time is and will remain undefeated, but LeBron's come as close as anybody to handing him an L. Before Bron, there were 5 30-point games by 40-year-olds. LeBron has more than tripled that with 16 30-point games by himself. He's 41. He's going to be 42 in December. Danny, you played with him, won a ring with him. LeBron and the Lakers season comes to an end here. If this is it for LeBron in LA, or if this is it for him overall, what has he meant to this league?
I mean, he's meant everything to this league. He's been the face for over 2 decades. So, you know, the kids that I watched him growing up. So, like, I idolize them. The kids that are in the league now probably were babies when he came in. A lot of us do appreciate him. A lot of us don't. They're going to appreciate him when he's gone. But he deserves his farewell tour. I don't think this is his last year. I don't think he's done after this. He'll get one more. And we don't know where that's going to be at yet. I don't think he knows either.
A lot of questions remain around LeBron James. But for now, Danny Green, thanks so much for the insight. And for more on this one, let's send it to the podium. Lakers head coach J.J. Redick, new on SportsCenter.
I think when the season ends, there's always a I would say, a whirlwind of emotions. Certainly feeling a sense of gratitude for our players, the Lakers, our fan base. Yeah. Really like that, you've seen these 3-0 games before, and I thought there were 2 different times during the game where our team could have gave in, could have let go of the rope. We didn't. I thought the crowd was awesome tonight, and I've been part of these on both sides where it's a 3-0 and you're playing on the road or you're playing at home, and the crowd can just not be. And the crowd was awesome tonight. Our fans are awesome. Yeah, gratitude. Yeah.
You're playing the defending champs, and we spoke to you and your group.
And build our championship habits and build our championship communication and championship shape. I thought we were darn close to doing that. And it doesn't mean you're going to win a championship, but I take a lot of pride in our players and what they all individually went through, what we collectively went through, and what we turned out to be. You don't know on day one of training camp what you're going to turn out to be, and just proud of who we are.
Still ahead, LeBron James might have played his last game as a Laker.
After the Lakers were eliminated.
I mean, yeah, it's very frustrating. I know some people wanted me back, but obviously I wasn't close to clearing. There was some stuff in the media that went out that wasn't true. Nobody of those people, saw my MRIs, no nothing, so it wasn't really true. If I could be out there, I would be 100%. Everybody in that room knows that. But it's been really tough. Like I said, this is the best time to play basketball. I was sad not to be able to help my team. So, and looking to the off season, obviously I'm still doing recovery. So that's the first thing.
Luke, I think we're at about 5.5 weeks since the injury, and you told us the other day it was 8 weeks that the doctors told you. Did you even get to a point where you were able to try to ramp up, or like that was still a stage that you weren't kind of able to progress to?
Still not. I'm doing the lifting, I'm doing running and shooting, but I haven't done contact and those stuff. I wasn't clear yet, so those stuff will come in the next week or two probably.
Luke, I'm sure you didn't want to be thinking about some of this stuff now, but there are a lot of free agents on this team. The team has cap space. There are trades potentially that can be made. I'm just kind of curious, what's your vision for the future of this organization in terms of players, and what was it like to play with Austin and LeBron this season?
Honestly, I think this season, obviously didn't end how we wanted. But I feel like the last push we made, in the end of regular season, we thought that we can compete for championship. I think we had a great team. We had great chemistry, and obviously playing with AR and Bron was an unbelievable experience. They're 2 great players, and it was really fun to share a court with them.
Look, when you signed your extension last summer, you helped to recruit Marcus and DA. Will you be trying to make sure you recruit LeBron, Austin, DA, and Marcus again this summer?
We'll see. Can't tell you nothing.
Hey, Luka. So we spent a lot of time last summer talking about your fitness journey to get ready for this season, and after being traded here, and obviously the year before you were coming off the finals. What is an ideal summer for just you personally, as far as how you want to come into next season and spend this off season?
First of all, I want to spend time with my daughters, and that's probably the only thing that's on my mind right now. And second of all, obviously, get the work in and come back ready for the season.
Luka, looking back at that March,
How important was that run? You know, I think you guys had 16-2 record in over 18 games. How important was that to kind of see this team clicking on all cylinders for you in your second year in the organization?
It was pretty amazing. I think the feel in the locker room was very good. I think every time we stepped on the court, you know, everybody was fighting, and most importantly, everybody was having fun. So I think that the run we made was pretty special. You know, obviously, I think me and AR got injured in the worst moments, so, you know, that's a little bit of bad luck.
This is SportsCenter.
A Murph and Maddie edition. We got LeBron James. His season and his contract with the Lakers is over, so what's next for the King?
And in LeBron's former home, Donovan Mitchell puts on a second-half performance the NBA had never seen before in the playoffs to even the series against the Pistons. SportsCenter, we're moving.
It's Spider's world, and we're living in it. Mitchell-palooza.
But we start with the Lakers trying to stave off elimination, down 0-3 at home against the champs. LeBron, 41, set to become an unrestricted free agent this summer, reuniting with his old pal, teammate D. Wade. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just looking to get to the Western Conference Finals. OKC put belt to backside to LA through 3 games in this series. This was the closest of the lot. LeBron fadeaway jumper has LA up 5 after 1, but they led at halftime each of the last 2 games. Start of the second quarter, A.J. Mitchell hits Alex Caruso, sparking a 17-0 Thunder run. I tell my dogs all the time, there's no reason to be afraid of the Thunder. I lie. Jared McCain, triple, has OKC up 8, and then there's your 2-time MVP, SGA, finds his spot. Thunder up 4 at the break. 5-minute mark of the third. Lakers get going on the lob to Jackson Hayes. Austin Reeves just throws it in the vicinity. Hayes has hops for days, puts Chet on a poster. Lakers within 6. And then there's LeBron from way out. Has LA within 5. And Hayes again putting on his own personal dunk contest at LA Live. He had 18 points, slams it over Holmgren again. Lakers led the last 2 games at halftime. They're up 4 heading to the fourth quarter. First time OKC's trailed in the fourth quarter this postseason. 3-point game here. Hayes with the denial. LeBron cherry picking. He went for 24 and 12. OKC needs a 20. They're down 5. But then they just showed off their enviable depth. McCain, he had 13. He's the 14th highest paid player on this roster. You know who's 15th? A.J. Mitchell. He had 26. This guy's plus 14 year over year in playoff scoring average. And oh, by the way, this is a team that won a title last year. SGA in this series hadn't gotten more than 23 points in any game. He eclipsed that by a margin here. Thunder up 4. Getting late early for LA. Rui Hachimura, terrific from deep this entire playoffs. He was 4 for 8 in this game. That's a 4-point play. 3 and 1. Made free throw, made it a 2-point game. Luka appreciates that from the bench. Marcus Smart. He's been clutch, especially in moments in that Rockets series. He had 15 points, bucket and 1, Lakers within 1. After the timeout, J.J. Redick has a marker and an idea, but nothing he can do about that kind of footwork underneath by Chet Holmgren, who had 16. Luka wanted to travel. He's not getting it. After SGA free throws, Austin Reeves, desperation heave. He had a team-high 27, needed 30. Rui Hachimura not on the floor for that play. He shot 57% from 3 in the playoffs. Reeves, a decent look. OKC breaks out the broom on the Lakers. Let's hear from Reeves after that loss.
That being said, JJ kind of made it a point that, you know, every year when the season ends, like, it's over, right? And whatever comes next is going to be different. You've gotten to share the court with LeBron James for your entire NBA career. What's that been like for you, and what would it mean to you if that was able to continue?
Man, it would mean the world to me. I don't know anything different. My rookie year, you know, I had no idea what the hell was going on, and he basically took me under his wing and given me every opportunity that I could ever ask for, trusted me. But, you know, further than the court, like, you know, building real friendship. You know, he obviously is into golf now, so we're a lot closer. So, but yeah, it's been super fun. I hope to, you know, continue to do that. he's taught me a lot. You know, I owe him a lot for my career. Like I said, he's given me confidence every single day. I mean, after I missed a three to tie the game, he's walking by and he was like, hell of a shot, you know, keep your head up. So just speaks to the character that he has, and whatever he does on the court, y'all seen it. I don't have to talk about it.
New on SportsCenter, here's LeBron James after the loss.
Ron, I'm sure we'll get to future questions soon, but JJ always talks about, or talked about before the game, the level of focus that he saw in you and kind of the leadership. How do you go from that, and then, you know, you guys battle to the way that you did, and then it's over? Like, how does that transition in your headspace at this point of doing it for so much time and all that you put into it?
Well, I mean, obviously it's a process. It's not about to happen right now. The process of thinking about the whole season and its brutality. I mean, and then processing it over the next, you know, we'll say a couple of weeks. You know, and look back on some of the things you did great, some of the things you didn't do too well, some of the things that you, you know, wish it would have went this way. But at the end of the day, you control the controllables, and what you can't control, you don't, you know, try to, you know, let it affect you too much or affect you at all. So. Yeah.
LeBron, you've spoken to us about retirement more than at any other point in your career as this season played out. What do you feel like's left for you in the NBA?
Well, I think you guys asked me about it, and I've answered questions. Yeah, I don't think I've come out like, oh, retirement is coming. Yeah, so, I mean, with my future, I don't know, obviously. I mean, this is obviously we're still fresh from, you know, obviously losing, you know, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the future holds for me, obviously, as it stands right now tonight. You know, I got a lot of time. I'll sit back, like I think I said it last year after we lost, I think, to Minnesota, to go back and recalibrate with my family and talk with them and spend some time with them. And then when the time comes, I obviously, you guys know what I decide to do.
LeBron, this is the longest stretch of your career that you've spent in one place. What are the moments that you carry with you as a Laker that, like, at the top of your mind right now that stand out as special things you were able to do here?
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, obviously winning the championship 2020 will stand at the top. I mean, that was the reason why I came here, to restore, you know, that level of play and restore this franchise back to what it was known for, winning championships and playing at a high level. And, you know, to be out there with that group and go out there and win a championship and us competing at a championship level was something that I kind of envisioned, and we was able to accomplish that. So that would stand at the top for sure.
LeBron, we asked you throughout the season about this team's identity. Now that we're at the end, how would you define that identity, and what did you like about it?
Well, I mean, obviously, it was so many different seasons in one season with our ball club, and obviously injuries played a big part of it. But as far as our identity, I thought we were super resilient, and whatever that happened, either if it was me at the beginning of the season, or if it was AR going down, or if it was Luka going down, or, you know, reshaping lineups and guys stepping up and playing, we stay resilient. And you know, for our group to have the moment that we had when, you know, Luka goes down, you know, with the hamstring, and then AR goes down with the oblique, and, you know, we staring down the barrel of a playoff series, you know, versus Houston. And I thought our guys just responded and was super resilient for us to, you know, win that series was big time for the group that was possessed to go out there. So, you know, I would say resilient. I think that was the number one thing for that ball club, for our ball club this year.
LeBron, we just spoke to Austin a few minutes ago, and when he was asked about potentially playing with you beyond this year, he said it would, quote unquote, mean the world to him. How have you seen Austin grow since as he put it, you took him under his wing when he got here? How have you seen him grow since he's been here and now that he's going to be on the market for potentially a lot of money?
Well, that last part has nothing to do with me. Listen, him and his team will handle that situation. But you know, just seeing, you know, AR grow over what was 5 years. There's been nothing short of amazing. I mean, he's a hard worker. He loves the game. He wants to get better, and he's not afraid of constructive criticism. And I kind of knew that from the beginning. I saw the talent, but I also saw that he was willing to put the work in and willing to. He wasn't afraid of the moment. So to see where he is today is awesome, and it's something that I knew he could be a big time player for our ball club, and I knew, if he just got the opportunity, and also he gained the confidence in himself that he belonged in his league, then he could do some special things in his league, and he's obviously showed it.
LeBron, in year 23, how different did this feel walking off the court, not knowing what the future holds for you versus past years when we knew you were coming back to play?
I don't know. I guess when you get like over 40, you start forgetting shit that happened. So I don't even remember many of the last times walking off the court. But listen, like I said, I left everything I could out on the floor. I control what I can control, and I can leave the floor saying like shit. Even though I hate losing, obviously, but I was locked in on what we needed to do. I tried to make sure our guys were locked in on what we needed to do throughout the postseason, throughout 10 games. And obviously we fell a little short, obviously, but I'm not looking at my year as a disappointment. That's for damn sure. Especially, I was put into some positions that I've never played in my career before. Actually, in my life, I've never been a third option in my life. So to be able to, thrive in that role for that period of time, and then have to step back into the role that I've been accustomed with over my career, over my life of playing a sport, and be able to thrive under that, and then just my teammates allowing me to lead them under extreme circumstances, that was pretty cool for me at this stage of my career.
LeBron, if you don't know what the future holds, I guess that means inherently this could be it. Do you allow yourself to kind of those last handshakes and this last press conference?
Last handshakes? No, I don't know, because I have no idea. None of us in here know what the future holds. None of us. Nobody has any idea what the future holds, and I don't either. Like I said, I'll take time to recalibrate and look over the season and see what's best for my future. And when I get to that point, everyone will know.
Hey, Bron. You've changed the league in so many ways. How do you think you defined it this year, and what did the season mean to you?
Yeah, it was. Obviously, every season has its own chapter, and there was many different points of this season where looking at the school, looking at our team, looking at what we were capable of, and for me, I started the season not playing, missing the first 14 games, missing training camp, missing preseason. It was the first time for me doing that, so that was challenging in its own right, just to get back and questioning yourself at times if you feel like you're gonna be able to get back to what you can do and do at this level, and to be able to do that and just keep pushing the limit as much as I could, at this stage of my career, it was something that it's been pretty cool, and to be able to still be able to make an impact on the team that's competing, that's pretty cool too. And like I said, I think after the Houston series, to be able to win a playoff series with some guys that, one, either never been in the playoffs before, and two, never won a playoff series before. To be in a bunker, to be in a foxhole with guys with that that was pretty awesome too. So just try to make an impact, every year that I'm on the floor. The one thing that is that you're probably going to have a rookie that joins the team that doesn't know what the NBA is all about, and it's always been my responsibility to kind of lead by example and also lead by a voice and to show them what being a professional is all about, and that's always been important to me.
Last three. Hey, Bron. You could play at this level for another 5 years or so if you wanted. When you reflect mentally and spiritually on whether you want to keep going, what's the decision process going to be like for you behind closed doors?
I don't know. I think for me, it's about the process. Like, you know, if I can commit to still being in love with the process of showing up to the arena 5.5 hours before a game to start preparing for a game, you know, giving everything I got, diving for loose balls, and, you know, doing everything that you know that it takes to go out and play, and, you know, showing up to practices, you know, 11 o'clock practice, I'm there at 8 o'clock, preparing my body, preparing my mind, preparing to practice, to put the work in, and, you know, so I think for me, I've always been in love with the process and not the, you know, the aftermath of like, okay, well, we won that game, or we won a championship, or I got, like, I've always enjoyed the process and not and more than the outcome, you know, so I think that would be a big factor. And then also, you know, have a conversation with my 12-year-old daughter. You know, that's a big factor. And my 19-year-old son is entering his second year at Arizona, you know, and my wife as well. So they're a huge factor in any decision I've made. So they'll be a big part of it as well.
Ron, so I know that you mentioned how different this year was for you, and I don't get to ask many 40-year-old athletes this, but are there things as a basketball player that you'd want to show that you haven't gotten to show in subsequent years, even next year?
Yeah, no. No. I mean, I did it this year. I mean, shit. Yeah, there's nothing I need to show, you know, in this league. As far as like, okay, well, I want to show people I can do this, or show myself I can do this. I've done it all. I've seen it all. So, you know, just being able to compete and trying to win championships, I think that's a motivating factor. You know, it's always been, you know, since I've probably first time I touched the postseason in 2006. It was like, how can I compete for a championship? Like when I touched the postseason, I was like, oh, this is something I want to be a part of for a long time. So, and obviously I've had some success in the postseason throughout my career. But as far as me individually, no. No.
Last question. LeBron, I wanted to ask you, you talked a bit about loving the process. Can you talk about the love for the game itself? Forget the process. Is it still there? Do you love this sport?
Well, I mean, I can't forget the process. It's impossible. That's just part of my DNA. But the love of the game is always there. I don't think that ever goes away, no matter if you. I mean, you've seen the interview earlier in the year. I think MJ did the interview with Mike Tirico, and he was just talking about his desire of the game still. Like, even though he's not playing, but like he still loves the game. Like, that shit would never go away. Like, we grow up playing the game that we love, and you do it at a high level, and that I don't think that'll ever go away. But the process for me has always been so much more important, because if you, for me personally, if I fell out of love with the process, then I'll probably fall out of love with the game, because now I'm not treating the game with respect for me personally, because I know how much work that I put into it. And if I'm now showing up to the arena for game day 2 hours before the game, it's like I'm cheating the process. If I'm showing up for practice at 11 o'clock practice and I'm showing up at 10 o'clock, 10:30, I'm cheating the process. So that means something is going on where I fell out of love with the game in the process. Like if I'm not working on something. So that is what it is for me. Appreciate it.
This is the fourth time LeBron's been swept in his career, but this is the earliest. He had the conference finals in 2023 to the eventual champion Nuggets. The 2007 finals against the Spurs team, they were just overmatched. In the 2018 finals, LeBron goes for 51, 8, and 8 in game one of that series. Teammate forgets the score. Worth noting, LeBron is now an unrestricted free agent. So if this is it for LeBron in LA, it was a hell of a ride. When he joined the Lakers, he ranked 7th on the all-time scoring list. 12,000 points later in purple and gold, he's the all-time scoring leader, passing Kareem on that memorable night, February 2023. More than 4,000 points clear of anybody else ever. In the bubble, 2020, LeBron brought the Lakers their 17th NBA title at the time. That tied the Celtics for most in league history. Also snapped a 9-year title drought for LA, their longest this century. And look, man, Father Time is and will remain undefeated, but LeBron's come as close as anybody to handing him a first L. Before Bron, there were only 5 30-point games by 40-year-olds in league history. LeBron has more than tripled that by himself with 16 this year. Danny Green, 3-time champion, won one of those with LeBron. LeBron did have 24 points, 12 boards in this Game 4 loss. Danny, he says he doesn't know what's next, but he also said his proudest moment as a Laker was that title he won with you on the roster. So knowing him as you do, what do you think is next for the King?
I don't think he knows. I believe him. I think he just wants to get off his feet a little bit, relax, enjoy his family, his kids that he mentioned, golf, and then figure it out as it comes. You know, he's taking it step by step. I think he wants to be a Laker and finish his career here, but we don't know what's going to come about. You know, we don't know who's going to offer him what his farewell looks like. He doesn't know. So he's waiting to see. He's going to weigh all his options, and he's going to choose the best one for him and his family, which he's always done. So he's done a great job with this league. It means the world to the league, a lot to the Lakers organization. And I'm sure they're going to try to give him the respect and loyalty he deserves and try to offer him something on his way out. But we'll see if somebody else comes with something better.
Right, because this Lakers season ends in the conference semifinals, but as we mentioned, he is an unrestricted free agent. A lot of possibilities on the table. You know LeBron James well. You won a championship with him in 2020. If this is it for LeBron James in a Lakers uniform, how do you quantify what he's meant to this franchise?
I mean, the Lakers organization's been pretty spoiled. They've had so many greats come through this building. You know, Magics, the Kobe's, the Kareems, the Shaquille O'Neals, the list goes on. But he's meant a ton. You know, he's obviously brought the nation and turned it around when it was, I wouldn't say in the dumps, but it was definitely on the downfall. Things weren't going so great. And to be able to bring Anthony Davis here, win a championship, bring some other guys and, you know, fill the seats back up with tickets and excitement. Got Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, helped, you know, develop him. He's done a lot for this organization. But again, this organization has seen a plethora of talent come through it. But he's meant so much more to the NBA and the basketball world in general that, you know, people are going to love and support and give him the farewell he deserves.
We'll be waiting with bated breath to see what King James decides in the coming weeks. Until then, Danny Green, thanks so much for the insight. Now, the Thunder, they may be on their way to becoming a dynasty. This is their 4th sweep over the last 3 postseasons. That's as many as the rest of the league combined. OKC are a perfect 8-0 in these playoffs. That's the longest win streak to start a playoff run by any team since 2017. New on SportsCenter, here's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander after the win.
Let's get Danny Green back in here. Danny, the Thunder, close win here after a number of more comfortable wins over the Lakers. I mean, they're 8-0 in these playoffs, sweep the Lakers in 4 games. When you think over the course of the season, how close are the Thunder to playing their best basketball? And as they now enter Western Conference Finals, where are the potential holes in what they bring to the table?
I think they're right there. They're pretty much at 95% their max potential. They're only missing one other player, but everybody around them is playing great. You got A.J. Mitchell, Isaiah Joe, Casey Wallace, Alex Caruso, Chet. They're all playing at a high level. If you get J-Dub back and him, you know, be fully healthy, then I think they're at the sky's the limit. So they are playing unbelievable basketball right now, and these guys are incredible. They're playing, together. They're showing a lot of bonding and chemistry on and off the court. And you're getting production from so many different places. Jared McCain, a guy that you added halfway through the year, looks comfortable. So with those guys playing the way they're playing, and you add SGA, who's an MVP player, you know, this year as well, and J-Dub, another All-Star, it's going to be a hard group to beat.
Danny Green, thanks so much, as always, for the insight.